I think both races are solid races for us. Nothing that we hit out of the park by any means, but I thought we showed progress in the first race from where we were in our time trial at the start of the season, and then similarly for this last race at Wingate, we showed a little bit of progress from Tusculum. All of individuals seemed to take a step forward that had raced in both of them. However, we definitely want to move up in the pack and be racing up higher in the pack as the season goes forward. On the women's side, we were glad to beat Tusculum in that first meet. That was one that we knew could be pretty close and was a good win for us. This past weekend, we're more teams from the conference and region that we saw, and I would say we fared exactly where we expected to, where I thought we would against them. Now, again, as I said earlier, I want to place higher up or be racing higher up within the pack and challenging some of those teams that beat us here when we return to Wingate in a few weeks for the conference championship. We're in a tough part of training right now, early season of training right now, as are the other teams. So it's hard to judge too much. You get a good idea, but where everybody is in their training cycle, things could change in a little bit in the next 5 to 6 weeks. Sam is a real experienced cross-country and distance runner, so he knows early season, and he's training at some of the best volume he's trained since he's been here. So he headed in on tired legs this past weekend and performed real well, I thought. He's always looking to do a little bit better, but as we talked about, I think he's in a good spot right now for where he is in training and how his legs are feeling with that. So I think all conference, all region, those are his goals for the season, and he's in a good spot right now. We just got to keep plugging away. And Michael, returning from the stress fracture he had in the spring, he's going to be getting better and better throughout the season. What he needs to continue to work on is his stamina, where he hasn't had as many miles under his belt over the summer. I told him just keep being patient. Each race is going to be a little bit better for him as he gets his stamina back for these longer 8K and 10K distance races. It is quite a bit different for freshmen when they get here. They have to go up 3K for most of the season and then even double it to 10K, double the distance they're used to in high school when they get to the regional meet. But he's done fantastic. He's a guy that I think a little bit undertrained, underdeveloped in high school. He's a multi-sport athlete. Running wasn't his main focus throughout high school, so I think he's going to develop great throughout his time as a collegiate athlete. And I've really been impressed and maybe even a little surprised how quickly he's adapted to the training load at the college level. And his first 8K race out, he handled great. He's out smart, made a good move in the middle of the race. Tired maybe a little bit in the last K or two, but he didn't really lose positions. He just wasn't able to keep moving up. So I think he's handled it great the first time out. I thought she looked good at Tusculum. Our one look at her in a race looked good and always consistent when she does get out and race, as has been the theme throughout her college career so far. It's been about just managing health, and kept her out this past weekend for precaution. If it was a championship race, she probably would have been able to go for it, but early season, it's about being smart and having her at her best for conference and region. In terms of training, she's doing real well when she is out there with the workouts. So just about being smart, and she's doing what she needs to in the training room, and us communicating in terms of her training. That is the strength behind Tabia. That is the strength of the team, is we have a group of 5-6 ladies that, just like in the race, in practice they're running as a group, and depending on the workout it switches from time to time who's the first in that workout and where they're at in the pack. So I think that can be a great thing when it comes to racing, is when they're going through those rough parts, they can find each other in the race and know, like, all right, I've worked out with this lady over the past few weeks, I can stick this one out. So I was very happy with that, of how close they were together. Now it's just going to be moving that up. We're a little too deep in the pack right now running as a group. So if we can just advance our fitness over the next few weeks, gain some confidence in these races, and be a little bit higher up. I think Kylie's been consistent in her first couple races out. Maria, this is her first collegiate cross country experience. She hasn't raced in 2 years in cross country, so she's done well for us in her first 2 collegiate races, and for her first 6K race this past week did real well, especially for somebody that is more middle distance oriented. I think she's gonna be great for us though throughout her career in cross country, and really happy. I guess on the day, it comes down to one day at the conference meet, and if you're a little bit off or not having the day you want, then maybe you can surprise. And for right now on the women's side, I think it was Catawba who was the team that was closest to us this past week. It's still a pretty big gap to them that we will definitely need to be in, and just as I said, move that group up within the pack. So that'd be who we're looking at. And Tusculum was another one that was close in that first meet out, so we'll have to be wary of them doing the same thing to us. I think maybe racing a little bit more aggressively from the start than what we did this past weekend, and that's something that we haven't discussed too much, but that we probably look at doing at that meet. It's a meet that should run fairly quick. We ran there at conference last year on that same course, so it's one that some of them are familiar with and set some PBs on, so they have some good memories on that course. So hopefully we come back and can maybe set a few more PBs and gain confidence. I think that's what Upstate can be, is one that we can get some confidence for as we get closer to championship season.